Hello. I'm just getting in from work. It is Friday the 23rd and I am looking forward to the bank holiday, so I thought I'd probably try and do a little bit more vlogging. However, I realised that I have a couple of clips from when I went and saw like this moon exhibition and I never shared it with you guys, and I thought, oh, do you know what better vlog to put it in than this one, because in a couple of days it's my partner's birthday and we're going to a planetarium. So, you know, theme, astronomy, celestial beings, it makes sense, right? So yeah, I will include a insert of whatever clips I can find now. So whilst you've been watching that, I've been settling myself in a little bit, putting things away, and I hope you enjoyed those little clips. I am planning this evening to do a little bit of video editing. I love that I always have my little bag hanging there. It's got, maybe I shouldn't tell you, maybe I'll keep it exciting. It's nothing exciting. Yeah, anyway, swiftly moving on. Yeah, so I'm planning on doing some video editing. I need a video ready for tomorrow, but I've got a couple a bit of content already filmed. I just need to put it all together, and then yeah, I've got a couple of plans happening. Hello, do you want to come sit up here? Got a couple of plans happening throughout the week. I'm working tomorrow, weekend rather. I'm working tomorrow, and then I don't know if I'm going to try and bake a cake. Basically, I have this notion I'm going to try and make my other half a cake. I don't really bake, and if I do, I've done banana bread like from scratch, but if I usually bake, it's with like one of those Aunt Bessie's packs of cake mixture pre-made, like mixed and stuff. So I'm going to try and do all the measurements myself. And yeah, so I might do that on Saturday evening, or I might wash my hair because I haven't given it a good scrub since I got it all like dyed and straightened, and there's definitely like dye residue that needs to come out. So either that or that. Sunday I am going to a like country fair, I think it's called. I'm pretty sure they've got like archery there and bits and bobs, and it sounds really fun. I was hoping to go with my other half, but he's working, and I had asked my friend and it turns out they're already going, so I've just got tickets. They invited me to come along with them, so that'll be a nice day out hopefully. And then Monday, bank holiday, is a reading date with my buddy. We're gonna go and chill in a cafe and just drink tea. I was gonna say drink cake and eat tea. I guess we could try and do that, maybe, I don't know. Read some books and chill, gossip, do what we do. And then Tuesday is my other half's birthday, and that's the planetarium day, and Wednesday might just be a chill day. So I thought I'd film some clips here and there, and yeah, it's probably going to be what I'm now going to be calling, and I don't know if it's already been used, like if this term's already been taken, so I'm apologising, I'm not claiming to have created it, but I'm going to do a TBR tumble and focusing on the books that have been on my list for ages. So my own books, the books that I've had out of the library that I need to take back and like prioritise, and also my current reads, which have been getting less, which is good, because I think a couple of vlogs ago I had like 8 books on the go and it was just ludicrous. I'm pretty sure I've got less than 8 now, but it's still not like a super manageable number, and some of them I haven't been like actively reading them I would like to. So yeah, but I'm also just like in the mood to read everything and anything, and especially because recently I did like what I think is probably my first like major book haul since going on like a low buy this year, and now obviously I've got new books in my collection that I want to devour, but I don't know, so we'll see what happens in terms of the reading front. For one of my current reads, just because it's literally next to me, I thought I'd show you. Serial Killer Next Door. I'm reading alongside, as well as just reading without being alongside, listening to the audiobook, which I've got on Audible. And Emma Kenny is a YouTuber. She's had many years in childcare and like social services, I believe. So she's talking about kind of from the psychology. I think she did childcare psychology, is basically the broad scope of what she's her career background is in. But she's talking about serial killers, and she always goes back to kind of how they became this way, that is it natural or nature? nature or nurture. And yeah, she's talking about some heinous, awful serial killers and kind of where it all began for their stories and their victims. Obviously it's not like highlighting them per se, but it does go back into psychology and kind of how they grew up and things like that. And then of course it highlights the victims of the crimes that were committed. I'm finding it fascinating. Bit of non-fiction for me as well, to whet my palate, because I don't read an awful lot of non-fiction, but in saying that, I have just finished a book today which was non-fiction, and that, whilst it's in my head, is trans history. I forget the two authors' names, but I'm on a book tour at the start of June to talk about it on my Instagram, so glad that I managed to finish that before, like, for me, quite early, before the book tour comes around. But that's great. It's literally, as the title says, it's trans history, but it's told in the form of like a comic, which is really palatable, easy to digest. So yeah, I will now do what I said I was going to do, which is actually, I think I might make myself a chai and yeah, edit some videos. I've got a little buddy keeping me company whilst I edit. The way she's just staring into your soul. Yes, you feed me human. So whilst I'm sitting here, I thought I'd just hash over what I've done before I kind of draw the evening to a close. So I edited 2 videos and scheduled them for YouTube, which is brilliant. I've been watching like Big Brother, the latest celebrity one, with Jojo and Chris, to see all how that transpired. So I know who's won and everything from there. I'm just sticking it on in the evenings when I'm kind of doing other things. But I'm also earlier on today, I started or continued with Childhood Friend Complex, which is a webtoon, and I started it months ago. I feel like really enjoyed it, and then stopped around chapter 5 because I felt like I was so addicted to it and I couldn't stop reading. And yeah, I had to like physically stop myself from reading, and it's been months now, I feel like, since I last picked it up. Finished the book that I was reading at work, and I was like, what better time to read on now and continue it. So I have read a couple more chapters and I'm really enjoying it. It's about 2 childhood friends who have like basically done everything together, and they kind of vow not to find them like each other attractive, but then a series of events happen and the attraction is getting stronger and stronger. They're like sort of like college uni age now. And yeah, things happen, I'm guessing. So yeah, that's really fun. It's really like enjoyable. I think it is a little bit explicit from what I can remember, like what it was hinting at, but also I'm guessing like what's in store. And I'm also still reading this arc I've got called Murder of Secrets and Lies, and that actually released, I think it's out now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it released on the 20th, which was, well, a couple of days before they ended up doing the cover reveal, and it looks really, really cool. I really like the cover design for it. But it's kind of like, I've described it before as Monster Highs, but like grown up, if you know what I mean. And the author basically said, yeah, that was a big inspiration for her. It's kind of like unhinged, debased Monster High vibes. They're all going to this monster school on this island, and it's not like a school, it's university, but everyone's like in their late 20s to 30s, you know. So but that's kind of like the reason. Basically the island hosts a TV show, and one of the requirements of going, like applying to the TV show, is that they need to enroll into this university as well. I guess it makes for some good TV, varied content and things like that. And I think everybody needs to have a specific type of like education to inhabit the island, whether it's permanently staying there or just for, you know, the opportunity of being on the show. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of romancy stuff. It's kind of dark romance, it's kind of gory because there's a lot of murdering, mainly at the start when you get into some of the characters' backstories, and I'm guessing it's only going to get like more from there. but about 40% in. I've only just got to like an actual good almost sex scene, because I am reading it for like the sexy vibes. To be honest, that's like the main reason why I was interested. I loved the idea of it, and I was interested in some smut, to be honest. And yeah, it's taken a while to get there, but it is like I'm reading it digitally, but it's like a 900-page book, so I guess that's a decent amount of time considering like the overall length of the story. So yeah, that's another one that's on the go, and I might end up reading a little bit of that when I go to bed. But in terms of like tackling my TBR, I already mentioned that one of the goals for this vlog was to sort of whittle down current reads and just make progress on that. So those 2 books that I just mentioned is for that. But also in terms of the library books that I have is this, and it's also kind of feeding into like my long-standing TBR, even though I don't own it physically. But this is the 3rd volume in the Amulet series by Kazi Kibushi, and this one's called The Cloud Searchers. I read volume 1, I feel like I've done them like, no, not one a month. I think I might have read volume 1 and 2 last month, and now I've got volume 3. It's about a pair of siblings whose life basically gets upturned when their father passes away. So their mum kind of uproots them and moves them into this kind of quieter, secluded house to live in. But strange things happen pretty much on their first night, and they hear and like sort of follow strange noises into the basement where their mum's been like taken through a door that is not a normal door. And yeah, they find themselves transported into this magical world. So yeah, I'm enjoying the series so far. I definitely preferred volume 1 out of the 2 that I've read so far, at least. Volume 2 was really good, but it didn't have my interest as much as volume 1 did. So I'm excited and intrigued to see how volume 3 goes. Hopefully it keeps my interest. I also have this really beautiful bookmark that my colleague at work made me. How sweet is that? It's got like a little blue tassel, and it's got all these like beautiful flowers like cut out onto the card. It's really pretty. So that's going to be my bookmark for when I pick this up. I'm probably going to take this book to work with me tomorrow and get started on that. Either tonight if I don't read any more of the monster book, or tomorrow as my like lunchtime read. So yeah, just wrapping up the evening now. I'm going to maybe finish off watching the rest of this episode. I've got like 9 minutes left of this Big Brother episode, but also I just kind of want to go to bed and do some reading, so we shall see. Oh, and I'm also, of course, another currently reading book that I've nearly finished with, and one that was on the library TBR, is the Serial Killer Next Door. I'm not too far from the end in this one. So yes, good night. Hello. I am just straightening my hair after having given it a good wash. Quite a bit of dye needed to come out, but it's still super vibrant. So I'm just currently going through with the blow dryer because I want to keep it straight for a little bit, I think. And yeah, in the curly state, it doesn't look as short as I was expecting it to look, to be honest. It's almost strangely a similar length, which is quite like an optical illusion, to be honest. Yeah, so it feels really soft, really healthy and thick, which is really lovely. I have listened to the rest of the Serial Killer Next Door, and I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars. I really love the tone of voice of Emma Kenny. As I say, I've watched her YouTube channel for a little while now, and I just really appreciate the way she delivers these horrible stories, really. It's always with sympathy and, you know, honouring and remembering the victims that these killers set their sights on. But when she does talk about the killers themselves, it's through the eyes of like this nature versus nurture, childhood psychology, and experiences that could have kind of influenced how they became. But never with this kind of air of, they had a hard life, let's let this slide that they did all these horrible things. No, she definitely holds them to full account with like strong sense of justice and judgment, but it's with an interesting look at just their life and things that could have triggered this outcome, really, which is quite fascinating and just a very interesting educational point, which I quite enjoy. So yeah, this was brilliant. I knew I was going to enjoy it, especially listening to the audiobook either alongside the physical book or just on its own, because it just feels like a podcast version of her YouTube videos. It's, you know, it doesn't skim out on the depth and details that she heavily researches, and yeah, did the cases justice. So yeah, definitely recommend this if you're into true crime and facts and information and kind of the psyche of a serial killer. Definitely recommend. I'm going to continue doing my hair now. I don't know if I'll straighten it today, or maybe I'll just like straighten the ends or do a light press around it, but I'm hungry, so yeah. Oh, you can't see all the purple in it at the minute. I think it's because of the light. The blue definitely took over because that was like the stronger pigment, so it's like blended into the pink that I had, and it's made it more purple. But blends, gives it more of the galaxy vibe. Oh my god, it's just so cool to see, because I haven't had like blue hair for ages. It used to be my thing. I feel like blue was like a staple color, also because I just couldn't get the green out afterwards. But anyway, yeah, gonna make myself some dinner at some point, but I think I'm just gonna continue with the hair process at the minute. Catch you on the flip side. Here is the hair straightened. That was a much smoother, easier blow dry and straighten, especially because I had so much dead hair just chopped off, so that was quite nice. But I haven't personally like properly straightened and like blow dried and straightened my hair myself properly with these sort of results for a good while, so I had to figure out my technique. But yeah, this is super cute. Super cute. Okay, so it's 9 p.m. and it's now that I'm actually gonna go and make something to eat. My partner prepared some burgers, so I'm gonna cook those and have some of that. And then in terms of reading, I don't know whether, I know this is supposed to be like tackling my TBR and tumbling it down, but I feel like I want to start an audiobook that I've got on my Borrow Box app, and then potentially read or start the third amulet book, which is the the Cloudbusters or something like that, which I think I was talking about briefly earlier on. So might do one of those. I think I will start an audiobook, really, because otherwise I'll end up just scrolling whilst I'm like preparing food and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna choose a book to listen to now that my serial killer one is done, and yeah, go from there. I've decided to put on my webtoon comic that I'm reading called Childhood Friend Complex. I'd continued reading it yesterday after like a bit of a break, and it had like loads of blank pages at the end, and I thought, oh, that's weird. Anyway, I read about 3 more chapters and I thought, oh, that's fine, I can muddle through it. And this was whilst I was at work, so I thought, oh, maybe it wasn't just loading. So I've gone on it now at home on my own Wi-Fi, and there's like so many more pages that I completely missed. So I'm going back and sort of like rereading the chapters that I did yesterday or the day before, whenever it was, because it gives so much more context and it actually finishes that chapter. I thought it was strange when it didn't like wrap it up at the end of each chapter or each episode. I was so confused. But like I equally kind of forced it to make sense. I don't know. Morning. I'm just ready now for my buddy to pick me up. Well, buddy and family. They're all buddies. We're going to go to a little country fair thing today, and it's going to be hopefully a lovely day. The sun looks like it's just peeking through. Hopefully it's not too hot, but a little bit of warmth would be lovely. Just shoveling some cereal down my gullet, and yeah, just ready for the day. So I might try and get some little clips here and there. We'll see what's in store.
Whilst keeping them in sync, there's concentration on their face as they go around this bumpy arena.
What a brilliant day. I'm very windswept. I had so much fun though. It was such a nice time out. I did buy a couple of things, cleaning supplies. I got this from a shop called Scent You Us Aromas. So I got some toilet and mop fizzer, which is pear and freesia scent. You just use the tongue, plop it in. Worlds of fun, I'm guessing. I also got some carpet freshener in plum and rhubarb. I love carpet fresheners, they smell fantastic and they just hoover them up afterwards and it leaves a nice lasting scent. So yeah, I'm going to attempt at some point to bake a cake. I can't bake or cook. I just need to do a little bit of washing up just to kind of make the area behind me clean and tidy enough to actually begin attempting to make a cake. I get overwhelmed easily, and knowing that it's for an occasion, even though it's just me and my other half eating the cake, puts added pressure that doesn't need. I've got performance anxiety, okay? Like, leave me be. I'm gonna probably not film the process because I need my phone. I'm filming on my phone and I need it for the instructions. But I might show you the after if it looks any good. I'll probably leave like the icing and frosting and everything until like the day of, just because I'm gonna like wrap it up in cling film to keep it somewhat fresh. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say really. So it doesn't look too bad. I did end up leaving it in for maybe like, I don't know, it still seems a bit squishy. It's cake, it's not supposed to be rock hard. Okay, I left it for like 35 minutes or so. I've also melted some dark chocolate and like crumbled Oreos into it. So I'm just like crushing that up a bit more because I want to do a layer with that as like the filling. And then I don't know if I'm going to have like enough volume to do a second layer. So that would be if I did vanilla frosting. If not, I'll just put that on the top. It won't be the prettiest at all, but yeah, hopefully it tastes good. So the cake had to go back in for like another 15 minutes and it doesn't look very pretty. Hopefully I can hide all these grooves and bumps, but it's firmer, and I did the chopstick method and it came out clean. Didn't seem to be collapsing when I took it out the second time, so I think it needed that extra 15 minutes. So what was that, like maybe 50 minutes, an hour in total. But yeah, it's not a strong foundation. Hopefully it tastes okay, we'll have to see. Yeah. Are you ready to see the ugliest birthday cake known to humans? You ain't ready for this. Wow, who's that beautiful girl? Could she be any cuter? I thought if in doubt, chuck Oreos on it. Usually it's glitter, but yeah, this is yeah. I tried. I really tried. I think my base ingredients are too wet. I should have used a measuring, like not just the measuring cup. I should have actually like weighed it, because I think my measuring eyeballing in the cup just was maybe slightly too over or slightly too under. I should have exactly measured it with the scales. But as I said, I tried. I'm gonna eat some spaghetti hoops now and call it a day. Yeah. Cooking up some burgers now as a very, very late dinner. Also, I feel like the cake looks much better clean filmed up, because you can't see a lot of the hideousness of it. Hey, good morning folks. So I'm just about to head on off to meet my buddy. We're gonna have a book day, a reading day in a coffee shop today, which we all started to do it quite frequently actually, at least every other month or so. It's so cute. We have a little bit of a gossip, a little bit of a chat, and then we just read for as long as we have the need. He often finishes his book because I feel like his capacity of reading is quicker than mine. And I usually get a good chunk in the book that I'm reading. Anyway, mixing it up a little bit with the type of stories I'm bringing with me today. I'm not focusing on one like chunky read. I'm focusing on 4 graphic novels. I cannot count. So I've got Amulet Volume 3, which I said from earlier on in the vlog I've been meaning to pick up as one of my reads. These are all like for my library specific part of the TBR tumble. And then I've got the first 2 volumes of Rat Queens. So originally I read Rat Queens Volume 1 and I didn't rate it all that much. Like it was all right, and I thought, well, I'm gonna leave it now. But since then I've had some experience playing D&D specifically, and I thought, oh, do you know what, I might like appreciate the humor. I also enjoy like Vox Machina now, and I'm thinking, okay, let me go back to it because it is kind of D&D vibes. Maybe I'll appreciate it a bit more. So with that in mind, I picked up Volume 2 as well. I think I picked up Volume 2 first actually, because I thought, oh, let me just reread the Volume 1 that I have. I think I'd already sold that though. So yeah, got both of these. So it'll be a reread for Volume 1 and then first time reading Volume 2, just to see if I appreciate it now and maybe want to continue on. And almost in a similar vein, the same for The Wicked and the Divine. I don't remember liking this all too much. I think it was just okay. It wasn't as, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't as gut punching as I was expecting. It's basically like the gods have, every 9 years I think, they come down into the mortal realm and become like influential famous people at a chance to, I don't know, influence the world really. Yeah, every 90 years, I don't know why I said 90 years, 12 gods return as young people. They're loved, they're hated. In 2 years they're all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. So I thought I'd really enjoy it, but it just was a bit flat for me. I don't know, again, I love like Greek pantheon in specific, Egyptology, like I love gods and like learning about the culture of it all, and this didn't hit. But I've read since then, since I've picked up this one originally, a varied amount of mythology retellings and things like that. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe my horizons have widened a bit more now for me to appreciate it. So see what I mean about like similar but different in terms of like with Rat Queens. So yeah, these are the 4 comics and graphic novels I'm bringing with me to read today. Yeah, hopefully I enjoy them, and for the ones that I've already experienced, hopefully I enjoy them more so than I did. I have got Volume 2 of The Wicked and the Divine, but I swapped that second one out for this one because I forgot that I'd been meaning to read this basically all weekend. So yeah, for Bank Holiday Monday we're going to have a nice chill read. Yeah, that's all I have to say really. Hopefully I can breeze through these. Elsa wanted to say hello. Hey! Oh, I thought she was going to go rah, rah. Oh, there she is. So I don't have to wait too long for a train, which is nice. And they do tap and go, like, outside of London now, which is brilliant. Oh, did you see that flock of birds? That's pretty. I think I'm going to start reading the Amulet Volume 3 when I'm on the train, or after I stop this recording. And yeah, get started on that. And then it's about a 20-minute, 30-minute journey. It's not far to where I'm going. So I'll chill, read there, and then it's just a day of reading and chatting, drinking coffee, snacking. The best kind of day, if you ask me. Okay, but this bathroom's super cool. Monster door. So I have literally just stepped through the door and back home, and I thought I'd tell you a little bit about the day. So I did end up starting and completing Amulet Volume 3, so that's all done. I ended up liking this more than Volume 2, but still less than Volume 1. I think it's really going to pick up, to be honest, Volume 4, 5. I think it's maybe like a 9 to 12 volume book from what I can remember, so there's quite a few volumes of this. How many times am I going to say volume? So I think it's just more of a slow burn in storytelling and plot, and I really do think it's going to pick up come like Volume 4, Volume 5. So yeah, I have given it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, which is sitting just kind of between-ish what I rated the last 2 volumes. And I will carry on with this, I think, but it's going to be more like slowly, as and when. If I see a volume in another library that I'm working in, or it pops up out of the blue, I'll borrow it, but I'm not going to like actively look for it and request it in to my branch, at least not right now. But I did enjoy it. It was an entertaining read. To be honest, that was my focus. I was just about to get my teeth sunk in to Volume 1 of Rat Queens when they said they were shutting the upstairs of the cafe, so we assumed that meant they were closing at 4. I didn't even realise that was the time, but they welcomed us to sit downstairs for a bit, and it was about 3:30 at that point, and I think we left around 3:45. So I did end up starting Rat Queens Volume 1, and then I read some more on my journey home, on the train journey home, and I'm about like halfway through, and so far I am definitely feeling myself like falling into the story a little bit more. I'm giggling a bit more at some of like the humor, and I'm just appreciating it. Like at the end of issue 1, it was like -4 penalty to initiative. Like I get it now, do you know what I mean? So I think really that was just my lack of understanding of tabletop role-playing games when I first read this, which I looked all the way back in 2015, so I think it must have been when this like originally came out, and yeah, I just didn't really have much of a clue, I suppose. So it must have just been I was contextually clueless, so I couldn't really fall into the world that much, but so far it's going better than it was. I also did pop into Waterstones and I bought a cheeky book. I was actually looking for the next volume, which I think is Volume 6, although I don't feel like I've read that many. But no, I'm looking at it, I've read 5 volumes, not that you can really see, but it's that stack there, of The Girl from the Other Side, which is a beautiful, dark kind of fairy tale. It's a very gentle story unfolding, but they didn't have Volume 6. They had 1, 2 and 5, which I've read those, but this is a webtoons that's just been released in print that I've been interested in seeing. I saw it maybe like last month or the month before pop up, and I think it's since been taken off of webtoons, because they tend to do that, don't they? When something gets popular and they're traditionally printing it, they then take it off of the free platform, which makes sense. But this is Hooky Volume 1, and it's by Miriam Bonstrater. I saw 3 volumes, and the amount of times I picked up all 3 and then put them back and then just settled on 1 because I was just doing the most, and I've been so well recently. You might have seen in my last haul that was like 23 books from the first half of this year, when before I was hitting like more than that each month, it felt like, you know. So I've been really good on my book consumption levels being lower, and I didn't want to go too crazy. So I bought the first volume, and I remember this being about a pair of witch twins that I think they missed their school bus to a magical school, and apparently they didn't expect to be declared traitors to their own kind. It sounds a bit dramatic, but the art style and the colour palette of it all looks absolutely beautiful. And I picked up volume 3. I didn't look at the back of it or anything like that. And just the jump from what I assume is still these main characters to how they look on the cover of volume 3. I'm guessing it time jumps or something, or maybe there's a magical element there and they have like a parallel lives or something, because they look older than here and it confused me a little bit. So I thought, okay, let me not get super invested, because I am a bit funny with time jumps and years skipping, and yeah, I like to not do that if it can be avoided. So I just stuck with volume 1, and it is quite a chunky, like this must have been a massive webtoon comic, because it's quite chunky and all 3 of the volumes look like this. So yes, that is my update for now. Oh, I've also been reading my audiobook. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I'll post a picture here. And yeah, it's like, I think I mentioned briefly about our main character Dare's doing like a podcast to the supernatural, but she is a supernatural skeptic, and she's gone to this like house that has some haunted rumors going on, and she's kind of trying to discover the secrets there, the mysteries there, and the shady kind of lives of all the people that have lived in this house before. It's kind of being refurbished to market as like a museum, a house of interest, by the current owners, and I think they seem to be like really interested in the historical architectural type of things. But with that, obviously, you're digging, you're looking around, you're going to find some strange things, maybe some information that doesn't match up with the well-known local history of it. So I'm quite excited to delve deeper into this story. I think there's going to be a queer relationship as well, which is always beautiful to see, especially if it's done well. And yeah, that is my thoughts so far. Trying to discover the bathroom, but look how cool the decor is. It gets better. Okay, this was brilliant, and it really shows that context makes everything. I had forgotten pretty much the whole plot of this, and it was like reading it with fresh eyes, with context. Brilliant. Probably like a 4 out of 5 stars. I'll definitely be reading the second volume. Really enjoyed it, especially when you consider that I gave it like a 2 stars back when I read it in 2015. This was fantastic. Okay, it is time to wrap up this vlog. Had the best couple of days. Today we just hung out with my other half's dad. We had some dinner, chilled a little bit. I started reading volume 2 of Rat Queens, so I think for like the TBR tumble, definitely focused more on the second kind of goal, which was like the library stack of books. So that is totally fine. This could be the library edit, but yeah, I'll probably continue whenever I do a vlog. That's probably going to be like the theme of it, I think, just getting down on my TBR in those 3 different formats. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Bye.